What do we have to solve, really, is what it comes down to, right? You go to the doctor, you have a problem with your leg. Doctor recommends amputation, for example, extreme example. And really all you have is a hangnail or a toe, one of those things, right? The solution then would be far in excess of what the real problem is. So if you don't know what the problem and the extent of said problem is, how could you possibly craft a solution to address the problem? Now, of course, we're talking about events as of late, and it seems the solution, or at least one that seems to be loudly said over and over again, is we got to get rid of the police. And some cities are actually frigging doing this, defunding the police. Because the police are the problem. Well, what is the extent of the said problem? We know what happened. We get it. Minneapolis, Atlanta, other places around the country. We know there are some rogue cops, or at least accused of being rogue. Clearly in Minneapolis, that certainly appeared to be not too many people are arguing that. But then you get to places like Atlanta, where the other incident happened as of late. Well, it's not as clear, perhaps, as the one up in Minnesota. Are there rogue cops? Yes. Yes, there are. How many? Well, the easy answer is all of them, right? They're all bad. Defund the police. Get rid of them. We're going to send in social workers and social justice warriors to deal with criminal activity. We just counsel people hell-bent on doing harm or whatever, right? So I found this on Hypocrite's channel, and very interesting. I was binging last night a little bit, and I found this clip. It is from something called A7. Now, I don't know if this is a legit organization, if it's trolling, propaganda, I don't know. What we have here is a young woman who is asking a simple question of the protesters. Okay. How many incidents where an unarmed man was murdered by the police last year, United States? Seems like a bit of information you might want to know. Then we could start to address the problem because we know the scope of said problem, right? Amputate the leg or treat the toe. See? And will it be a shock to anyone that no one knows the answer to that question? Doesn't Sergeant Pop tell us that ignorance is a choice? Ignorance is bliss. Well, let's see some of that.
So, of course, police brutality has been a very big subject lately. How many unarmed men do you think were killed by police over the past year?
And I'm going to have to bleep a little bit here. Obviously, it's okay for somebody to post a video with certain words, but if I have those words in my video, why take a chance? Already got one channel strike. I don't need another one.
Over the past year, I think get killed by the police unarmed way more than white people.
That's not the question. The question is how many? It seems like something you might want to know in order to, again, come up with constructive solutions to the problem instead of just shit-canning the entire police force. It'd be good to know what the extent of the problem is. Go on.
But, have you seen any numbers or statistics? Like, do you know if it's a couple hundred or a couple thousand by chance?
I don't know the exact statistics offhand.
There's no shame in not knowing, except you should know. You're protesting, you want change. Well, again, the extent of the problem. What is the measured response to the problem? That it might be helpful to know how far it goes.
Thousands. Right now, I believe I saw a post that said that right now 493 have been killed just this year.
500 unarmed men have been murdered by police in the last 6 months. Well, that seems kind of like an epidemic if it were true. It would seem that there is a big, major problem. But that's not true.
I can't put a number on that because I genuinely do not know.
I honestly don't know the answer, the number of men who were killed. Like she said, the public are probably not informed to most of it.
Yeah, well, if you're waiting for the mainstream media to inform you of these things, Well, they're not really lying to you, but they are committing a lie of omission. There might be a reason why these data are not available easily on the mainstream media. You think? Is that possible?
1,000.
1,000.
At least.
More members of the community compared to members of the white community as a whole.
You see, that's not the question. The question is how many? Do you have the answer?
Are killed in general. I think that might not be true,
Well, you're right about that.
but you know.
Where and how big of a region?
The United States,
Just in all of America. Yeah, in America.
the 50 states.
That would be so hard for me to say. It would be hard for me to even guess at. I would imagine, probably in the dozens of thousands.
Dozens of thousands. So this is what's going on in some of the heads of these people. They have no idea, so they're guessing it must be dozens of thousands of men. Unarmed men being shot by police.
Thousands, probably even just in a week. If you're talking about all America, yeah, monthly, probably thousands.
And she has a sign, racism is a small dick thinking. Okay, got it.
I wish I knew that number, but way too many than it should.
Absolutely, yes, it is way too many. Anything over 0 is too many. How many, though, are we talking about?
So,
Do you think it's like a couple hundred, couple thousand? Like, do you think you can give like a ballpark at all based off of like media reports, videos you've seen?
I would say in the hundreds, near thousands.
So, look what happens when reality smacks him in the head, because the young lady here has the actual number.
I'm not sure. Do you know?
So I was actually reading a statistic in the Wall Street Journal because I was asking people this question and I really wasn't sure either.
Wall Street Journal, aren't they, well, they're WS, aren't they?
And the Wall Street Journal said that last year, 9 unarmed black men were killed by police.
Excuse me, what?
9 unarmed black men were killed by police.
Did you say 9? Did you say 900, 9,000, 90,000?
9 unarmed black men were killed by police.
9. I also found it interesting that there was a rather brave young woman who got up and spoke her truth, or actually the truth, at a protest in Seattle. Let's listen to what she has to say.
I wanted to read something that I read that was so crazy from the Washington Post. Do you guys all read the Washington Post?
You know, that bastion of WS and N and all, completely and totally right wing.
So in 2019, there were 10 million arrests in America.
Whoa, that's a lot of people getting arrested.
And we had 1,004 times those arrests were fatal.
That's unfortunate. And many of those people were armed or dangerous or tried to attack. Well, what about the ones that weren't armed, that weren't dangerous, that were just, willingly submitting to being arrested? How many of those?
41 of those people were unarmed.
Wait a minute, 10 million arrests, 1,000 that were fatal, 41 were unarmed. So that would mean the vast majority were armed in some way. I know.
19 of those people were white.
Hold on now. No, that's impossible.
9 of those people were.
You see, measured response, measured solutions to the issue. Now, is Hamster minimizing these 9 men, mostly men, who were shot by cops, unarmed, in the last year in the United States? Am I No, of course not. No. These men did not deserve to be given the ultimate penalty. No way. 9 men in the United States in 2019 who were unarmed were murdered by the police. 9 out of 10 million arrests. You don't cut your leg off if you have an ingrown toenail. The solution has to be measured with respect to the extent of the problem. Removing police from the streets of our big cities and other places is obviously not a solution. 99.99999% of police are professional. They do not go out and shoot people for no particular reason. Weed out the bad apples, not the entire freaking bushel basket. Link below. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.